Hi, welcome to Wisecat. Okay, today what I'm going to do is take a quick look at Moodle 4.4, and we're going to have a comparison straight between 4.3. So you can see over here I've got my test Moodle 4.4, and over here in the yellow corner I've got my test Moodle 4.3. So let's have a look at them side by side and see what the new features are and what the differences are. Okay, so the differences actually start on login. So if I click on login here, differences, they look the same. Well, they sort of are until you actually enter the password. And if I enter the password in here as well, you can see they also look the same. But let's see, if I take the center line here and if I squish it down a bit on the right-hand side, nothing really changes. But if I squish it over on the left-hand side, ooh, look at that. We've got this reveal password eyeball thing. So this is great for, especially on mobile devices, where people can actually see if they've input the password correctly or not. By the way, I'm on a local machine, so that is my password for this local machine. Do not have that password ever, anywhere. It's kind of a joke. So, yeah, and don't scream at me for that, please. Anyway, that's a really cool feature right there. You can actually also configure how that's going to work by going to the authentication settings. If you go under Manage Authentication here and scroll down to the bottom, we've got this password visibility toggle, which is a new setting in 4.4. And by default, it's set to small screens only, which, if I may say so myself, I think is an incredibly sensible setting to have. On keyboards, it's not such a big issue, but if you wanted it on the wide screens as well, you can change that to enabled, and it will be available no matter what the screen size be. Okay, so that's the first change, and so a lot of the changes actually this time are kind of cosmetic. There's the dashboard and everything. A lot of things don't actually look all that different, but until you actually get into a course though. So if we go in and have a look at a course, I've made this test course just using the dev test course generation thing, and I added a little bit of my own special sauce in there as well. And what you can see straight off the bat is that these icons are far less intrusive into your field of view. They're much more subdued and things like that. So this is probably going to be great accessibility-wise for, say, people with ADHD who now are getting distracted by my mouse cursor. Anyway, the icons are much smaller and much easier to sort of see. Also, the sections, the way it's formatted and the sections sort of seem to hold together a lot better. I mean, I think the way that the sections zip up and unzip, but all of these items are inside this one border here, whereas over in 4.3, they were all sort of separate little jelly beans all along there. And so I think this is definitely an improvement over that. Just overall, the look is much cleaner, and yeah, I just think kudos to the guys who thought about that, these improvements for the user experience. I have heard that there's more, yet more to come actually regarding the sections and indenting and all that sort of stuff is getting a rethink. So that'll be exciting to see things to come as well in the future. Okay, the next one. So in 4.3, if you click on the topic name, it zips and unzips it. But over here, if I click on new section, bang, it goes to a page that actually just displays that new section, and that's it. And it's just called new section. By the way, yeah, over here it's called topic 1. That's because over here that's also been renamed. But now the sections themselves can have their own dedicated page like this, which is kind of nice. I think especially if you got a lot of content actually embedded on the course page, this could be really useful actually to have this separatable. I am a little bit concerned that the navigation getting back to the top page has been a bit of an issue when it comes to people coming in here and saying, oh, if I click on general, can I go to I want the whole course to come up, and there doesn't seem to be a simple way other than the breadcrumbs to getting back to the actual course page that displays the whole lot. But anyway, that's pretty nice to see that the section page, and to see how these things are all sort of put in one jelly bean that holds them all. Giant jelly beans, like giant jelly beans. Oh. Okay, next one. So, yeah, as I was mentioning, this says new section, new section, new section instead of topic 1, topic 2 by default. And that's also a pretty cool thing, but it connects to, it's cool in the ways of, okay, topic 1, topic 2 sort of seems like it's already set up. New section really does suggest that it can be edited, and it should be edited, so I kind of like that. Here, it used to be called topics format, here in the course format name, and now that's actually been renamed to custom sections. And you can see that these drop downs as well, they have a little bit of a description of what this is, what each of them are, whereas here it's just the word, and it's not very descriptive. Social format, what's social format? So you can see that social format here is centered around a main forum on the course page and stuff like that. So that tells you a lot more than what just social format does. So a few things here in the settings and things for teachers, I think is going to make it a bit easier for teachers to actually start using Moodle. Okay, while we're talking about things that make it easier, so let's say that you've got your course and you've got groups set up, and you actually set up, say, separate groups in the announcement, and say you want to post to group B. You want to post a little discussion topic to group B. Well, we can actually do this here as well. Yeah, group B, what's new? What's new? Well, if I click on add a discussion topic, there's our editor popping up here. And if I click on it here, you can see that actually I've got another option here for post a copy to all groups. That means to post it to all groups that I have access to. This is different to posting it to all participants, by the way. All participants will just be a single post that is visible to all, but the people in the other groups won't be able to reply to it if it's a standard forum. Shouldn't have chosen the announcements forum to demonstrate this, because yeah, they won't be able to reply anyway. but anyway, if it weren't an announcements forum, if it was another type of forum, then you could actually do this: post a copy to all groups, and all groups would get it, and then all groups that you're in would get it, and then they'd be able to go. Now, this existed in 4.3. This isn't really new, but the thing is that in 4.3 you have to click on the advanced link and go all the way back through here to post a copy to all groups here. So it's faster to get the word out to multiple groups if if that's what you're trying to do. So this is actually going to be fairly convenient, I can think. Ideally, I would like to see forum change a little bit. There's one thing that I've been looking forward to, and it hasn't actually appeared, is this one here. Is when you come in to a forum and you click on the reply button, reply link here, and it pops out like this. This is great, but there's no editor here. And the only way you can click on edit, get the editor out again, is to click on advanced, and then you get your TinyMCE editor. It would be so awesome if the TinyMCE could appear here, or even if that's just an optional extra or something like that. But I'm assuming that that's somehow difficult to actually implement programmatically. I've had a bit of a play around with the mustache templates, and I couldn't see how to do it straight away. So it's not obvious enough for me. But if somebody out there who's more intelligent could look at that and get me a TinyMCE in the inline replies, that'd be really cool. And things like that. Also, sort of the word advanced here it's not really indicative of what it is. So full editor or something like that might be a better word for it. But you can change that in the language packs. Anyway, shall we move on? What else have we got? Let's see. I'm looking at a list over here. So yeah. Before I didn't quite finish mentioning that. This whole section thing, the single section page thing, when you turn edit mode on, you can't actually do that, because you click here and it'll give you a chance to edit this section. So new name for the new section. But if you want to actually view the single section page with editing on, you can actually come over here and hit view. and that'll bring it up as a single section in edit mode, with edit mode on. And you could just go there and then switch edit mode on or off, but that's just another option that's going to appear here, so don't get surprised when you see "few" in there. That's just for the edit mode things. Okay, so next, as we mentioned a little bit before, all of these, assignment book, chat, they've all got nice, new, clean, icons that are coming up. You can see all of them actually look pretty good. H5P is still its standard logo sort of a thing. Makes a bit of sense. I imagine the big blue button is, but I haven't actually seen that yet. So let's have a quick look. Let's go into plugins. Big blue button. Where are you, big blue button? Big blue BBB is not in here? Wait a minute. Might need to be enabled. Did they remove that? No, they didn't remove that. Of course they didn't remove it. There it is. And it needs to be enabled. It's disabled by default. I guess it's because, you've got to get that. Oh yeah, coming up soon. Default server credentials is not going to, that's going to expire. And so obtain credentials through here, etc., etc. You can register here, or you can add your own credentials, of course. But anyway, the default server credentials are soon going to expire, so they're not going to be there in the future. But let's see, if we go back to our course, what does that look like now? Yeah, the big blue button still got the B in the circle. Yep, that's definitely still remaining the same, which kind of understandable there. Okay, next thing, if we go to, say, a text and media area, for example, get our TinyMCE up here. So here's our TinyMCE. If you hit the add image button, images are now a lot better. If I do it here, well, I can do it here in a discussion topic, but anyway, if I click here, you can see that the old 4.3 is you click through, you can enter the URL, or you can browse repositories and stuff like that. And it's always been a little bit clunky. Everybody likes a good drag and drop, right? Well, the wish is their command, because you've now got drag and drop is the big obvious option here. So that's pretty cool to see that that's got a lot simpler. Also, so let's actually add an image. Let's do it. Let me grab my browser. So let's see. I'll drag a nice image of Mount Fuji here. How would you describe this image to someone who can't see it? This is a bit better as well. It's asking a question rather than just saying, or describe it, blah, blah, blah. But, I would say pic of Mount Fuji. And that's for alt text, so that for accessibility purposes as well, right? Decorative only, you can click that to make that irrelevant. But ideally, you should all be putting alt text in there, because, that's good to have alt text. Okay, you can do original size, custom size as well. So whereas auto size used to be the option here, bang, I can go like that, and that's kind of nice there. Okay, I'm going to save that, and boom, there it is. Haha, yay! I've got my option here, and of course you've got the option to specify something that appears here instead of text and media area as well. If I go back into the settings, you can just define it here. Say Fuji pick. And then if we save that there, now in our course navigation, we've got Fuji pick here as well, which is another thing that's actually kind of nice to have. That's actually in 4.3 though, so the ability to name them is also in 4.3. Oh, but not if you're in a forum post. Wait a minute, I should catch up. Here we go. Text and media area. See, title in course index is right there. So that's a 4.3 thing as well. Okay, another thing, when it comes to activities, another one that's a really nice one is, say, quizzes. And in quizzes, we talk about questions. In questions, we talk about question bank. And in the question bank, there is a new question type. Good mate of mine, Gordon Bateson. Yeah, he's the guy who wrote the ordering question type. And the ordering question type is basically, you can add, say, okay, let's make one. Order me around. Okay, we'll call that the question name. Count. And if I come down here, you can actually choose different options here, like default market and things like that. And especially the grading type gets a little bit, there's a lot of options here. But for example, all or nothing or absolute position, is that what you want? How do you want the grading? The, you know, what's 1 mark, what's 2 marks, what's full marks, etc. A lot of good thought has gone into this, like the longest contiguous subset and stuff like that. So many different options here. If I just go 1, 2, 3, you need at least 3 options, right? I'll add in 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, I'm so creative. If I do that and then save changes, boom, now I've got myself an order me around question type. If I preview it, there you can see it, and it's just drag and drop. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is correct, isn't it? Yeah. Woohoo, yay. If I start again, and let's say I'll just submit and finish like that, and you can see that there are 2 out of place here. So hence this one is telling it. And it gives you a good explanation of what the scores are you're getting for this particular question, and why it's 50% instead of something else. Okay. So the ordering question type is new, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, other things that are new. Going back to the list. Yeah, if we go to site administration and go to users and browse list of users, right? Wow, you can already see it's already starting to look a bit different. Now, this is one of those changes where I'm not 100% sure that I like these changes, but yeah, I can see the direction they're coming in. So there's a big thing to have filters all be through this sort of a modal that pops up, and you can do the filtering. You can still do the same kinds of filters, but I actually really think that it's convenient here once you've added a filter. So user name contains A. For example, here, if I go, say, username contains A, you know, things don't pop up, and the box doesn't actually pop up until you've got it open like that. But here, for example, you can remove selected, remove all filters, or you just go user full name contains B, and then that'll replace the filters as well. If you hit enter on that, bang, it replaces the filters and it's done. I think this interface is actually very convenient, so I'm not sure if I'm going to grow to like this one. Because in order to get rid of this filter, I mean, I could hit reset all, but what if I only want to reset this one? Well, now I have to go, is any value? I have to click. Click from contains to click. So, you know, whereas previously, if I would go A or something like that, hit boom, there it is. Click, 1 click and 2 clicks to actually get rid of it. Right, to remove the selected, I can click, or if I'm removing 2 or 3, I've only got the number of filters and 1 more click. Or I can remove them all with 1 click. Whereas here, basically what I've got to do is I've got to click to open the filter panel. I've got to now find the actual filter that I want to get rid of. Username is any value or contains, or etc. I mean, getting rid of them all is fine, but what if I've got several filters and I want to change a few of them? Or does not contain, change it to does not contain. Now I've got to do more clicks than I had to do before. So I'm not sure that I really like this. Not sure that I hate it. But at the moment, anyway, it's one of those things that I think, okay, a little bit more work on thinking about the usability, thinking about how people use this page to filter users and search for users. That would be kind of cool. Another thing, and this is one of the things that I've hated for ages, but it seems to be the way of the world, is everything going behind bloody dropdowns. I'm sorry, but why does that need to be hidden behind a dropdown? Seriously. Is there a reason why this has to be hidden behind a drop-down? What's wrong with having the buttons right there? And the reason is when you add a filter or something, you add a filter and then you say, okay, these users, bang, I want to suspend this one, and this one. Boom. I've just suspended 4 users here. I can guarantee you can't do that anywhere near as fast here. Click, click. It's doubling the clicks. And I've got to find it and double the clicks. Right? I know this is small thing. I'm talking about 5 seconds versus 10 seconds, but that's still double the time. And that also means double the frustration, especially for people who find clicking less than, not super easy. I do like that there's the additional words here and things like that, that there's actually a text description of what this is going to do rather than just being an eye. I do kind of like that, but you already had that if you moused over, didn't you? No? Well, a tooltip with the mousing over would have probably sufficed there. Some of these have tooltips, didn't they? Anyway. Yeah, I can see why that's going in that direction. I just, everything being hidden behind drop-downs it's unnecessary. This is an admin screen. It's an admin screen. Functionality over prettiness. Functionality is probably more important. Well, I tend to think so, because this is what's going to take minutes out of my day, and sometimes those minutes are not available. Anyway, one thing that is getting an interesting thing, again with the filter thing, this could be good or bad, but let's say if I want to select, say, 1, 2, 3, my 4 suspended users, well, I can scroll down the bottom here, and with selected users, I can actually do some stuff like I can delete them, or I can add them to a cohort, etc., etc. These are things that used to appear on the just on the bulk user actions page in here. So you don't get those options here. There's no select multiple users here, and there's no other things. That used to be on a different page here. So bulk user actions, you'd have to come in here. Now you could use the same filters, but you had to actually select them from this sort of a box here and then move them into the add into selection. So I kind of like this. I think this could be good. To have these, the bulk user actions page sort of merged together with the browse list of users page. I mean, it's often been something that I have thought of, is why do we need 2 separate pages from that? I remember, it reminds me of a long time ago when they actually merged the course participants with the enrolled users page or something. They sort of thing, why do we have 2 pages for this? We can just put them together as one. That took a few versions of Moodle to actually develop into something that was really usable. And so maybe this is just, maybe I'm just getting a bit of a stickler, but for the old ways, I don't want to move on. Yeah, I have a feeling that this shows potential, shows promise and everything like that, but I think it's really important to think about the workflows, how people are going to use the site, rather than just saying, oh, it looks prettier if we have everything behind a drop-down. It may look prettier, yeah, but it might not be as usable. So anyway, so that's the filters and things like that. And this kind of filter interface, this is sort of becoming standard anyway. There's a lot of other things are doing this. The reports, for example, the custom reports. There's, by the way, there's new report thing is roles. A new report source. Yay! So let's see, roly-poly. Yeah, so in here, of course, when you close the details thing, and see, we've got the same sort of filters for the different reports as well. And even if you view the report, you've got the same filters here as well. So course apply. Now we've got all the course roles, or system apply. Now we got the system roles. Well, there's no system roles been added. So anyway, but yeah, roly-poly, that's a new report as well. Over here, we had the custom reports, but if we go new report, the report source, we don't have one for roles. So there's no roles in here. There are a few, I think there might actually be a few more even. Let's have a look. Reports, custom reports, new report. How different does it look? Site, badges, blogs. Badges, blogs. Yeah, I think it's just roles is the new one. Okay, so anyway, new custom report. Yay. Let's see. Oh, while we're talking about reports, inside the reports page, there's also theme usage. So if you're on a Moodle that uses multiple themes and allows people to choose their own themes by user, by course, by cohort, by category or something, you can actually check those themes and see where they're being used. So Boost, where's Boost being used? Well, everywhere on this site. But if you have them split up a bit, you can actually see where they're being used. While we're talking about that, if you go to the Appearance tab in Site Administration, you'll notice that the theme section is gone. It has disappeared. Well, it's actually been incorporated here into just the same appearance thing here. And so Advanced Theme Settings as well. The old Theme Settings has changed to Advanced Theme Settings. And so here's where you would actually make it possible for users, courses, categories, and even cohorts to select their own, have their own themes. And so that's there. By the way, one that I find is incredibly useful is this one. Allow theme changes in the URL, especially when you break your Moodle. That is a useful one to have checked. It's happened more than once for me, I'm ashamed to say. Okay, let's see. What else have we got? Badge filters and stuff like that. There's also, authentication-wise, there's some big news out of authentication. Something I also don't like. But, but sorry, if we come into admin tools here, in 4.3, of course, there was multi-factor authentication came in a pretty big way. And so we've got all of these different factors we can use. We could send an email every time someone wants to log in, grace period, IP ranges, the roles. So for example, if you're a student, then that lets you in quick, faster or something. You can also use Authenticator app, which is absolutely my favorite, TOTPs, because they're flexible for the users. So, and they don't encourage SIM swapping. Because, you know, if you're using SMSs, that actually promotes the crime of SIM swapping. Well, matter of opinion. Disagree with me? Fight me in the comments. But the new feature in multi-factor authentication here is that now we have the option for SMS a mobile phone, which is absolutely the second factor or the authentication factor that I hate the most. First and foremost, because I don't actually have a phone. So when they say, oh, I'll send you an SMS. No, you won't, because I don't have a phone that can receive an SMS on. So that's not very nice for me. But the other thing is, yeah, I also don't like this being used as a second factor because I'm under the impression, rightly or wrongly, fight me below, that SMS-based authentication encourages the crime of SIM swapping, and I don't think they need encouragement on that. And besides, SMS, is it really that trustworthy? I don't really want to trust it. But anyway, multi-factor authentication is in a big way. SMS, if you really want to set it up, you can actually set it up using Amazon SNS or something like that. That's also due to be configurable as well, so you can set up your Moodle to be able to send SMSs, and that'd be good. Okay, what else we got? If we go back to the course, courses, one of the things that I've added here is I've added a little vocab quiz. And if I continue the last preview, in here, after a minute or so, it'll actually come up. But the difference is that I don't need to start a new preview, but maybe I will just add another answer or something in there. Let's see, I don't know if it's the right answer or wrong answer, but anyway. So basically, tests in Moodle have long had this feature where they'll auto save the answers. Usually by default it's every minute, so the questions will be saved. In Moodle 4.4, when it finally gets around to it, it'll actually display the date it was last saved up here. Sometimes the indication in up to 4.3 was just if the internet connection was, not super stable, then when it tries to autosave and it couldn't, then a red bar would appear saying your internet has not has been disconnected or something like that, and that did have the tendency to make students freak out. But here, and just as I'm saying it, it's not going to come up for me, is it? Oh, there. Okay, just when I start to lose faith, there it pops. Okay, last saved at 10:40 and 57. Yeah, you can tell I'm working late tonight. But yeah, that doesn't actually appear if you were to do that in 4.3. So that's a nice little addition here. I'm not sure what happens if you disconnect the internet while you're in the middle of a quiz yet, but yeah, I hope it's not quite as startling for the students as this is. This is kind of nice. This is reassuring, and a little bit of reassurance can go a long way when a kid's doing a test. So that's a nice one. Okay, what else have we got? It's like section grading and... Okay, looking at the... Yeah, that's probably enough. I mean, this video is long enough, isn't it? 30 minutes? I think that's plenty long enough. All right, so those are the main ones. There are more features that I have not covered and probably for a while won't cover. So, for example, there's the matrix integration. Yeah, I have opinions on that. But basically, my general idea for matrix integration is when they get SSO, single sign-on, when you click on the link and Moodle logs you into the matrix interface, the element, then I'll be happy to review it. But until then, I don't really find it very useful for pretty much anyone. So, no. If you're holding your breath on that one, I'm sorry to tell you, but unless you have a matrix server already pre-set up with identical usernames to your Moodle server, unless it's a numerical, in which case if your matrix users have user and the student number, it's too many conditions required for it to be useful. One of the other things that I've noticed recently, I noticed it came up, was when you're editing a quiz, and you go from question bank, if you have a lot of questions in a question bank, it's not ideal in terms of this paging, right? Because if I try to page it, now that messed up, and I can't select things from page 2. Right, this is a bug, and it's been reported. I've found that it had been reported. It got reported to me by some of my teachers. My teachers got mad at me for this and said, "Hey, it wasn't me who did it." Of course, it was me. I'm the one who did the upgrade. Anyway, the thing to do is to close out and then go back to the question from question bank, and that will allow you to page through to page 2, page 3, page 4. All right. Trying to hit the re-hitting the filter does not really work so well. So that's a little bit of a thing. There are certain things like that. This is the one that I was alluding to in the previous video when I said, I've got some opinions about the new question editing styles and things like that. I imagine these things are going to get fixed in newer versions. It's just we got the teething problems with the new filter systems and stuff like that. But anyway, that's it, I guess, for this video. Is basically that was my first look at Moodle 4.4. Overall, I like it. I like the interface. I like the way these things are a bit more buttony and, you know, are actually showing. I like the interface changes. I really do. I think it's great that, you know, you've got this action activity or resource that is, you know, got a good mouse over sort of a feel to it, and it actually lets you add them in different locations and things, just by hovering over the plus in between there. Now that's how you add an activity and resource everywhere. You can also, in the middle here, you can add a section, that the sections are called new section, rather than, you know, promoting people to, okay, first thing you should do is say, you know, frogs, and then, you know, give it a name. You know, it sort of leads you through to a nicer workflow, I think. Frogs and, oh, duck, only one duck. But it leads you through to a bit of a better workflow. I can see how this is going to improve some things, like the hiding things behind dropdowns and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those, but I don't know. Overall, it's definitely getting a lot better. And when you switch it off and you've got that all of these pieces that should hang together do hang together, and that they've got their own page where they can hang together, that's really nice. So kudos to the user experience team. I think they've made some leaps and bounds in the right direction for this one. Okay, so at that, I'm going to finish up this and go to bed, because as you saw, it was past 10, which is my bedtime. Thank you very much, and I'll see you sometime soon for the next one. And look forward to, well, like and subscribe, and also hit me up in the comments section or something with your opinions on Moodle 4.4, the changes, what you'd like to see improved, or what you're looking forward to when you upgrade next. Okay? And otherwise, like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Yeah. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.